Welcome, everybody, to Spark Your Dream. This is Lisandra Collazo, Independent Sales Director with Mary Kay. And tonight I have my co host right over there.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Sharon Miranda. Excited that you guys are connecting with us.
So today we're super excited because today we get to hear the story of Heather Ramos, who is a wife, a mother, a nurse. She is everything. She wears all different kinds of hats. So she sparked her dream a little over a year ago, and we want her just to inspire you today in what she has to share. So Heather, can you introduce yourself and share a little bit of your story with us?
Hi, everybody. So, again, my name is Heather Ramos, and I am originally from New Jersey. My husband's in the United States Coast Guard for the past 20 years, and we are now stationed in South Florida. We were previously stationed in North Carolina and a couple other states. And soon after I moved here, my hairstylist introduced me to Mary Kay. And though I was very fearful, I decided to give it a try. It was a little bit over, it'll be 2 years this September. And so we also, just to go backwards, we have two daughters. One is 20 years old and the other one is 15, so a high schooler and a college. And Olivia and Milan. And like I said, my husband's been serving. I've been a nurse for 21 years. I work in the outpatient surgery center in the pre-op department. And so I have a lot of hats and I'm loving it. And two dogs.
Awesome. So this is kind of like a Q&A. So we want you to be real. This is the girlfriends just having a quick conversation over coffee, super organic. So I'm going to ask you a question. Sharon's going to ask you a question. And it's just like we're sitting at a coffee table, but, we're behind our computer screens.
Okay, let's chit chat.
All right. So my first question for you is, you started this business and you started it with doubt, right? So what did you do to overcome that doubt, and who spoke to you or who spoke into your life in order for you to step out of that?
Oh, wow. So I stepped into a lot of doubt. Just having a history with other companies that didn't kind of end as well. So, but it was just something that sparked in me. It really was God speaking to me to say to give Mary Kay a try. And so I always tell people I didn't go into Mary Kay with just fear. It was like I had not even a foot in. I had the pinky toenail in. Like, I wanted to do it, but I was extra scared. But I knew that something was nudging me, and I knew I had to move in fear. I know they tell you not to, but to be transparent, I wasn't moving in faith at that point. I was literally just moving past my fear and knowing that this was something I had to do, and just continuously praying, but just surrounding myself and the different women that I've met in Mary Kay, and just speaking over me, and encouragement of my husband, and encouragement of my mother was my biggest cheerleader, and just saying that they believed in me, and being consistent. That's what kind of moved me past that, was just being consistently showing up. Was that really what helped me move past my fear?
Would you say that, that the things that probably could have been an obstacle when you were feeling the fear, especially 2 years ago when you were just starting in your Mary Kay business and something completely different for you? Would you say that you're kind of scared of the same things now, or have you been able to overcome them by, like you said, feeling the fear and doing it anyways? Like, how has that process been?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think that I just know how to overcome those obstacles now. It's not so much of a fear. I kind of view it more as a challenge, and overcoming that challenge. That's a deep question.
Well, the reason I ask you is because, there's a saying that says that the way that you get over fear is by doing what you fear most.
Yes.
So obviously you were able to feel the fear. You had courage enough to feel the fear and move forward, because fear, it's good. It's natural. Like, there is no such thing as the absence of fear. Like, when we try new things, when we are presented a business opportunity, when it's something totally out of your area of either expertise or of your comfort zone, we feel fear. We're human, right?
Right.
So that's what you were saying. You felt the fear, but you made a decision. So what I want to know is, with your experience, do you think that saying is true? that you get over the fear by facing it, in other words.
Absolutely. Because for personally, my biggest fear was fear of failure. I just didn't want to fail. I just believed in it so much, and God was really nudging me that I just did not want to fail. And so I knew that was really my biggest fear. I mean, other than the things of like talking to people and that stuff didn't bother me as much, because no just means not right now. But it was the fear of failure. And so in my mind, I kept telling myself that the only way I'm going to fail is if I quit. So I had to move through it. Like, that's the only way I was going to fail, is if I quit. And then I would kind of look back on myself and regret that really the only reason I did was because I stopped. And so I refused to stop because I know I'll succeed.
Awesome. I absolutely love that. I know Lisa has like a question she wants to get in. But I just want to piggyback really quick, because you said something really powerful, and I have my son in the car. I'm in the car. The beauty of being able to go live from anywhere and working our business with flexibility. But you said something about the failure of fear. And what comes to mind is like, what, like, I ask myself, why are we so scared of failure? Like of that? Like, is it, it doesn't go the right way, or what I thought, or maybe I have a picture of what could have been and it didn't happen. But when you really truly sit down and think, Heather, I want to know if you agree with me or not. But like, when you have the fear of failing, it's like it's the perspective of how you look at that. Because, right. For example, I could be like, okay, well, this didn't work, or I didn't finish the goal that I wanted at this date. But it's like, okay, there was something I had to learn. There's something that I learned. So when I come back more powerful or stronger or with better knowledge. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
For me, like, we shouldn't fear to fail, because look at people who are so successful. Like, how many times has Oprah Winfrey failed?
Exactly.
Quote unquote. It's not really a fail. It's just that she gave herself a chance, and whatever she did may have not worked, but then she learned from it and came back stronger or more.
And kept her going.
Right.
Right. And I think also it was a fear of failure to everyone else, because I have tried other things in my life. I just didn't want it to be, okay, she tried this and she failed at it again. And I just was like, no, because this one really was, Mary Kay was something that was dear to my heart. Everything that it's about was dear to my heart. So I just had that fear of multiple things, of failing, of people not taking me seriously, of what if I'm talking all this smack and then I don't come through and everyone's going to be looking at me. I kept on thinking of everyone else and their opinions in the beginning because of where I came from. And so now it's like, same thing. There's certain still goals that I don't personally meet, but that's not a failure. It's a lesson. So I take it as, okay, it was a lesson that I have to get from it. And I didn't fail. The only way I'm going to fail is if I quit. That's the only way.
So that brings me to my question is, how have you learned how to pivot? So how have you learned how to pivot, and what do you do to pivot?
I think the biggest time that I pivoted was during the pandemic, because my surgery center was going to close and only open one day a week. And I remember talking to Lisa and saying, this is it. This is my moment. I have to do something with this. And that started with my mindset, because I refused anything else. Like, it was almost like either I'm going to do everything I possibly can and actually listen to my director, or I'm not. I had in my mind, I had a window to optimize what was happening. Like, I had to make sure that I'm not going to have this much time. I'm not going to have this much, like, endless time that I had during the day. And this was the best time because everyone was at home. Unfortunately, because of what was going on, everybody was at home, but I was able to reach people. And so I think because my mind pivoted at that time, I just continued it because that momentum started. And so I had to keep that momentum going. And so it is a mind shift, which is crazy because you hear that all the time. But it's so true. It starts with how you're thinking, because what you're thinking you're going to do, if you've already given up in your head, your actions will follow. But if you're telling yourself you have no other choice, you have to succeed at this time, you will find a way and no excuse to succeed.
Well, I absolutely love that. When you don't have that plan B. They say when you go to do something, burn the ships, right? In other words, when you get somewhere that way, you have nowhere to look back and try to go back. You have to survive once you arrive. So burn the ships. Okay.
Yeah.
So for those people who are connecting with us, I love that you guys are connecting with us tonight, or maybe you're watching the replay. You're probably on here because a Mary Kay consultant invited you because either A, she wants your support, right? She wants your opinion, or B, you know that once you listen to us, you can do a quick survey and get entered into a $100 Amazon gift card. So you're a smart cookie. Or 3, you really seriously want A and B, but you also want to know a little bit more because you may be looking for an extra income, or you're looking for something that you could do where you can grow, personally grow, and make money at the same time, right? And have a business. So if that's you, what would you say to that person, Heather? Because we're talking about spark your dream. What does spark your dream mean to you? And what would you say to someone who's listening to us who truly is considering starting their own Mary Kay business?
So let me just share with you what was going through my mind, and then that maybe will help, because at the time I had been a nurse for 18 years. We had just moved here 2 months prior. And for a couple of years prior to that, there was just something nagging at me. Like, I love being a nurse. I love taking care of people, but it was like I had another purpose. I was looking for something, and I didn't know what that something was. And so when Mary Kay came into my life, at the end of the day, what risk was I really taking? I got some free products with my starter kit. I met some wonderful women. And at the end of the day, if it wasn't for me, at least I could say I tried. And so many times we tell ourselves that we've already failed, or we've talked ourselves out of something that God is trying to show us. It's a door. We've prayed about it. We have talked to our family about it. And then when it's actually presented to us, then we're actually talking ourselves out of it, because we already in our mind have told ourselves that we're not going to be any good at it. And so I just tell someone, just give yourself a chance. Stop closing off opportunities that are given to you because it takes you out of your comfort zone, and it seems like it's not something that's for you or makes you feel uncomfortable. Maybe that's where your growth is going to come. Your growth needs to come where you're uncomfortable. And so it's not going to hurt. It's so much more. And I always tell Lisa this, that Mary Kay is, the vehicle is makeup and skincare, but their mission is to empower and to support and to minister to women and men. And so that's something that you want to do, and you want to give back, and you want to love on other people, and you want to support people, and you want to empower people, then this is the way you should go. At least give it a try.
I love that, Heather. That was a great answer. So you guys, like I said, super organic. This is, girlfriends having a chat, over some coffee at the table, virtually, right? But, I just want to add, right, that Heather is a nurse. She is a mom. She is a wife. She is a military spouse. Okay. So she wears a lot of hats. So Heather, if somebody that is really pondering, I really want something else in my life. I want residual income, but I also kind of need to keep myself busy because I need to stay sane, right? During this whole pandemic, there's a lot going on. So what would you say to somebody that's like, I don't have enough time? So what would you say to that?
I don't want to sound harsh. Guys, excuse me, I am from Jersey, so I'm very blunt at times. Okay. But you make time for things that you want to make time for, because in our heads, we're thinking that's the beauty of Mary Kay. There is no clocking into you're not clocking into another job and having dedicate 6, 7, 8 hours in addition to what you already don't have. This is your business. I work my business at my lunchtime at my job, which is 30 minutes. I work my business after if my kids were younger, after they would go to bed, or, when I have that space. Or there's just so many different ways that you can work this business. It's not going to take 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 hours a week. So I think that because we're so used to looking for a job and not an opportunity, we always talk ourselves out of it. Always. And so I just think that, like, it's not about time. You know, when people say that to me, I say, look on your phone and tell me how much time they told you that you were looking at social media today. Because 9 times out of 10, it was more than 2 hours a day. We're telling you 2 hours a week.
Stop
I think you can make the
love
time.
it.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, okay, how much?
Stop it.
I understand. I will never invalidate anybody's time. Trust me, I'm extremely busy. But if someone had said that to me, they usually will say, it's probably like 2 hours a day, if not more. And we're telling you at least 2 hours a week.
Oh, Heather, you're so wise. You're so wise. I love it. Okay. So I know that you have mentioned, and I 100% agree that, you know, we makeup and skincare is our vehicle to enrich lives. So Mary Kay really is a people company. And when you look at Mary Kay, all you see is the product, then I believe you need to look a little closer, because we are in the people company. We're in a company of where we reach people. So how would you say that Mary Kay has enriched your life in these last few years, Heather?
Gosh, man. I can only tell you what one of my friends told me 2 weeks ago. And I realized it, but I didn't realize other people see it. She said, you have turned into such a more confident person. Like, you have turned, like, it's just totally transitioned you. And I think that's what it is. I've always kind of considered myself confident, but it's just confident in a different way, because I'm confident in who I am. I'm confident in my purpose. I'm confident, like, it's helped me help me grow my relationship with God. Mary Kay has, you know, when you have people around you that empower you, you feel empowered, and therefore you want to empower other people. And so that's what people are seeing. It's like, I'm unapologetically me now. And so it's just transitioned me so much. I love makeup and skincare, but I love making people feel important and giving them that time that they need, and actually opening their mind up to other opportunities of looking for an opportunity and not a job. So it's been amazing. I absolutely love it, especially the sisterhood.
Okay.
We're taking a sip of coffee.
Yeah, we're taking a sip of our coffee. So I want, you know, you were saying something, and something sparked in my brain, right? So have you, and we're being real, right? So have you prejudged on who this opportunity is good for? And have you overcome that, and have you been surprised by the outcome?
Absolutely. You know, they keep on telling you, don't judge, don't judge, don't judge. There's people who have joined me in my journey that it's probably been like the best thing ever. And people that I didn't think that would even be interested in it has jumped on board. And those who I think that would be great at it, they are, but they haven't realized that yet. And so, yes, absolutely. I have people who don't prejudge anyone. Sometimes people are joining Mary Kay. It's not about they need extra money. Sometimes that's not it. Sometimes they need the sisterhood. Sometimes they're just looking for a purpose. And sometimes they do need the extra money. But not everyone's going to join for the same reasons. But because of that, you can't prejudge. Because I have people on my team from all facets of life. All facets of life. So because of that reason, and I've been surprised a couple of times, because of that reason, then I tell everybody about it. I share the opportunity. I'm not shy. I'm like, listen, I know you might not think this is for you, but would you be willing to hear about it? And they'll say yes.
Okay, so I think Sharon had to go, but it's okay. So I do have a question for you, and you can make it as lengthy as you want. If you had to give Heather Ramos, the Heather Ramos assigned 2 years ago that decided to become an entrepreneur with Mary Kay, if you had to give her a piece of advice, this Heather today, what would you tell Heather from 2 years ago?
I would say to, gosh, a couple things. I would tell Heather, it really just popped in my head, but my two favorite verses is the things that I honestly live by. The first one is Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5-6. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not into thy own understanding, but acknowledge him and he direct your path. Because I always use that, I've always have. There's gonna be a lot of things that you go through, Heather, through this journey. You're not gonna understand why, and you gotta trust in him. And so Lisa, my director, is always reminding me of that. But you have to trust him. You have to trust him. Trust the process. Trust your directors. The things that they're asking you to do that you just don't understand, keep doing it. Keep going. Be consistent. And that's the main thing, is trust the process. Trust the process. Because it's just, they're lessons. Like Sharon has said, everything you go through, all the challenges, all those highs and lows, they're just going to be lessons. And just make sure you surround yourself with those top 5 people in your life, those that have the same mindset, those who are going to encourage you, not the one, those who are going to, that are going in the same direction as you.
I love it.
Things.
I love it. You said also something about, you've said lots of good things. I'm going to have to sit back and watch the replay and like write all my notes, because I love it. You said something about sometimes when you're uncomfortable, that's where your growth happens. And I truly believe that too, that, when we step out of our comfort zone and we do something to spark that dream that people have had for years, sometimes people have had dreams or ideas that they have never given life to for years, as if we are like beings that are going to eternally be living on planet. No, we are eternal spirits, but not be like, we're, life is short. So people are just going through life without sparking that dream, but they don't want to get uncomfortable. They're scared to get uncomfortable and scared of the unknown. And fear, like I said, it's something that you create in your head that doesn't even happen. But when you said, growth starts when you get uncomfortable, because you're stepping out of your box. Step out of your box. When, I know with the pandemic, we're constantly stepping out of our box.
Yes.
And the pandemic was one of those pivoting points for all of us. We're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? So what would you say, how were you able to step out of your box or pivot multiple times during like the last 2 to 3 months? I feel like we're always pivoting.
I know. I had to refocus. I really had to refocus. I had to remember my why. So everyone knows that my husband's in the military, and he's been in for almost 22 years this year. And my biggest thing, I told Lisa this from the get-go, he has blessed us so much. Hopefully I won't cry. He has blessed us so much. He has given a GI Bill to my daughters. That's how they're going to college. And he could easily have used that for himself. He's always such a giver. That's his love language. Is he likes to buy or give away. And because of that, I want to be able to bless him. I could say it's about my kids. I love my kids. I love my girls. And yes, I would be able to bless them too. But my dream is that when Brandon retires, that he can retire. That he's not starting another 20-year job at 40-something years old. That he just kind of do something that he loves, and I got it. And I'm taking care of him. And we're going on this trip. Mary Kay is blessing us with a trip. Things like that. Like, I want to be able to bless him the way he's blessed us. So he's just not selfish at all. And so because of that reason, that's what pushes me, and that's what keeps me focused, is your why. It's so easy to forget your why. And so many times we look to other people for validation. People who are not given your vision is not going to validate it. God gave you your vision. So you're sharing your dreams and visions with people that don't even, they're not there yet. They haven't even began to think outside the box that we were given. So you can't expect them to then validate, to validate your vision. So I stopped going to people who were not on the same level. And that's not to put anybody else down, but if you don't understand where I'm going, then that's okay. Like, I just have to surround myself. And so remembering your why and remembering the purpose that God's given you is probably going to keep you continuously pivoting in your head.
Love it. So when your why is strong enough, when you really actually do that you identify what is that what, in other words, what I get from what you're saying, Heather, is when I have the courage enough to fear the fear and do it anyways. And by doing it anyways, I mean stepping out of my comfort zone to chase something that I've always wanted to do. Who are those people that will be blessed by you doing that? Who will be blessed by you stepping out of your box?
Right.
Is the question. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So as we wrap this up, it's been great hanging with the two of you. I'm gonna just ask you one last thing. If you had to say anything to the people that are listening to this, the people that are listening to the replay, what would you say about starting a business during a pandemic?
To start it?
We have really good questions.
You do. I'm sorry, it's coming through my face. To actually just don't be fearful. And this always goes back to fear. And I think it's just so many things that people fear. The unknown, people's opinions. So this pandemic, unfortunately, coronavirus is probably going to be around for a little while. And so we are truly bringing a sense of joy. We're making people feel there's so many emotions and things that people are going through that we're bringing a sense of joy into their life, even if it's momentarily. And so if they wanted to start a business during Mary Kay, like if you're willing to do that for other people, then jump on board. We're only here to bring people happiness. Like they always say, we are Mary Kay, not Scary Kay. Right? So we're here to bring people happiness, and you're with your starter kit. It's so much more than the starter kit. Let me tell you, it's so much more. You learn who you are. You learn about people. You realize that there's strength you have. You realize the confidence that you have. You realize what you have that you have inside of you to give to others. And so when you start seeing that blessing when you start seeing the blessing that it has on your life, all you want to do is bless others, and tell them about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather. We really, really do appreciate all your words. I mean, I feel like I need to go back to this and take some notes, but I do want to say that I think your story is very powerful because I've seen your journey. I saw the pinky toe journey, and now you're like, oh, what? I'm getting in the entire pool, So I'm very excited to see the transformation, and that's what I love about our Mary Kay business, that it allows you to transform into who God created you to be, right? Because God created you to be amazing, right? Amazing creatures. So what's going to happen right after you listen to this? Your consultant who you're listening to for this, so you're going to get a survey. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. There we go. You're going to receive a survey. You're going to get a link. You're going to fill out a survey. And then guess what? You're going to be entered into that raffle for that $100 gift card. Like, you'll be a smart cookie just for giving your opinion. I think we all have opinions, right? So it'll be very easily just to submit that. So I want to say thank you to Heather for being on our Spark Your Dream, and my co-host, who is perfect example that you can work your business everywhere in the car with your child. Right? So
thank you, Heather.
Thank you, all of you, and have an amazing, wonderful night.